will have 5 minutes to answer questions and 1 minute to close. I will let you know 30 seconds before it's time to end your 1 minute. Good morning. My name is Ensign J. Loving, and I am running for Cleveland Municipal Court Judge. It is an honor to be here before you today to request for endorsement in my campaign. As a first-generation college and law school graduate, I grew up understanding the impact our justice system has on its community. I believe that our judges should be experienced, have integrity, and serve with compassion. But I also understand that experience isn't just a number. It's what you've done in those years, how you've led, and how you've served. I've litigated cases throughout Ohio in our municipal, county, and appellate courts, in our federal courts. I have dedicated my career to hard work and to service. I believe that diversity on the bench is not just about your demographic background, but also about the experience that you've had and the knowledge that you can bring to add to the judiciary. So again, my name is Ensign J. Loving. I'm running for Cleveland Municipal Court Judge, and I humbly request your endorsement.
Good morning. Okay, my question to you is about science. Okay? He said there's 4 qualities. 4 qualities belongs to a judge. A, to hear. Answer wisely. C, consider soberly. And D, to decide impartially. What do you think of his wisdom in this modern era?
I think that it is essential. I think that our judges have to understand that it's not just about the decision you make at the end of the day, it's about how you came to make that decision and the reasons for it. And I think that what we need most is we need our judges to listen, to hear the issues of the persons in front of them, and to consider their circumstances individually. Because there isn't a one-size-fits-all system. And in order to do so, our judges have to be impartial. We have to be able to remove our bias in order to make decisions, because judges are tasked with making decisions for the entire community. And that is a big and honorable task. And that's why we have to make sure that our candidates and our judges are fair and impartial, and that they understand the needs of the community, are willing to listen to those needs, and are willing to make their decision based on the law, but also based on the individual circumstances of the person in front of them. And that means that you're removing individual bias, and that you understand that that person is an individual with needs that may be unique than yours. And that's why it's also really important to have lived experiences to be able to operate in that space.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. What made you want to become a municipal court judge?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, as I mentioned earlier, I grew up seeing what it looked like and how important it was for us to have good, strong judges who understood the community they serve. So my family was sort of in the system, and I got to see at a young age how that impacted people. And I also got to see how important judicial decisions are, not just with respect to sentencing, but also with respect to options like restorative justice and connecting our individual defendants to resources that the courts offer. Because oftentimes we can help assist people and rehabilitate, and it doesn't always have to be punitive. But in order to make those decisions, you have to really consider the individual in front of you, take into consideration their background, their experience, and the impact your decision has on the victim and the people in the courtroom. Really
Somebody been watching my show.
And so I understood from a young age that I wanted to help. And I didn't know what I wanted to do at first, but I said I wanted to go to law school because I want to learn. I want to understand what the system is like. I didn't grow up with legal role models, and so I had to teach myself. And so what's also important to me is making sure that I take that knowledge back and that I kind of lead by example, that I mentor, and that I talk to people about our justice system, but also civics and engagement, because oftentimes we don't have people to remind us how important it is for us to be active in our community, and how important it is for us to vote, and that we are active participants in our democracy. So that's kind of a culmination of reasons why I wanted to make sure that I gave back and taught others what I didn't know, or I wasn't taught growing up. But more importantly, I wanted to add to the strong judiciary that understands that we can really make a difference in someone's lives, that we have the opportunity to rehabilitate and sort of avoid this one sort of revolving door that you see in some people's lives. And I just like to repeat that the municipal court is a court of first touches, and I believe in problem-solving justice, right? And compassion means that you don't just understand the situation in front of you, but you think, how can I help? Or what are solutions that I can offer to solve the problem? And I have a really strong history of doing that, and I'd like to bring it to the bench.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No time for another question? Well, maybe I'll ask this one. Okay, so, do you have a particular approach you will use handling your cases, if elected?
I believe, like I mentioned earlier, an individualized approach, taking the time to understand the person in front of you, consider the law, their background, and then making my decision, and making sure that decision is founded in law and reason. And I believe that having that approach and understanding that each person is one particular person is really important to assessing their needs and resolving their matters.
Thank you.
Thank you. Again, my name is Ensign J. Loving, and I am running for judge of the Cleveland Municipal Court. It's been an honor to be here before you today, and I hope to earn your endorsement. I have earned the endorsement thus far of our Democratic Party, of the African American Law Enforcement Retirees Association, our firefighters, Local 93, our Cleveland Police Patrolmen Association, lastly, the Cleveland Building Trades Council, in addition to a host of other organizations. And endorsements are important because it means that other organizations have heard and listened to you. They've judged your resume, your professional background, and your service, and they believe that your ideals align with theirs. And in addition to this, I mentioned leadership and role models. So I believe in service and social engagement, and I spend a lot of my time mentoring, coaching our 3 R's program, and volunteering as a mock trial coach for our a high school team as well, because I am not doing my job if I'm not giving back and leading others into the same path that I plan to follow. So again, my name is Vincent, and it's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next candidate today is Kyle Robinson for Cleveland Municipal Court Judge.
I'm running for Lakewood City Council Ward 2. I'm sorry.
I don't want to, have you start off the wrong way. But once again, we are going to have opening for 1 minute, 5 minutes of question and answers, and 1 minute to close. And this is our timekeeper, Mr. Nick, Jana Crosby, and now, sir, please.
Well, I want to thank the BWPAC for the opportunity to be here today. My name is Kyle Robinson. I'm an attorney and small business owner, and I'm running to represent Ward 2 on the Lakewood City Council. I know what it means to face challenges early on in life and be lifted up by those people who showed up for me. That experience drives me to do the same for others, especially those who are too often overlooked or marginalized. I believe Black women have always had strong voices in our communities, leading with purpose and vision. And I want to make sure that leadership is reflected in city government. My campaign has already been endorsed by the Cleveland Building and Construction Trades Council, Cleveland American Middle Eastern Organization, and others. I'm proud of the trust they've placed in me. I believe their support, along with yours, shows that we can bring people together across communities to make real progress for Lakewood. Thank you. Oh, I appreciate the organization of this as well. I just want to thank you, and I met a lot of you at the meeting here too, so. Throw that out there.
Good morning, Mr. Robinson.
Good morning.
Good evening. And one of my questions, I believe, for this is, how would you describe your leadership style? And how does it reflect the values of the ward you seek to represent?
Sure. So thanks for that question. Lakewood is a very diverse community, and so my leadership style would reflect that. And I know I don't know all the answers. I don't have the experience that everybody else has, so I would seek the wisdom and experiences of others in the community and ask them to make sure they are reflective of the community. Because my experiences are different than everybody else. And I think that's how a leader needs to lead. He needs to lead from the people that he's going to be representing. And so I think that's best to ask, look at your constituents and see what their thoughts are, their experiences are, and then listen to them. I think a leader needs to listen first and foremost, then make decisions based on the people that he's representing.
Thank you. Good morning.
Go ahead.
What do you think is the most important role that city council members play? And what makes you right for the position?
Well, I think that goes into the first question, is making sure that everybody is represented and everybody has a fair shot. I think what makes Lakewood so special is its diversity and inclusion, and I want to make sure that goes forward when on city council. So I think, like I said, everybody's voice is represented is one of the most important things in our city, and make sure that diversity and inclusion is represented in that. And that's one of the things we're looking for, because there's a lot of people that are looking for affordable housing. We want to make sure that's represented. We want to make sure people are not have the opportunities to open up businesses, make sure they have the resources they need. We want to make sure that they know where to go to get the questions that they have for their city government, and make sure their city officials are actually available for them to talk. Make sure they have the resources they need to talk.
Speaking of affordable housing, currently that is a critical issue. So how do you define affordability? And what specific plans or ideas do you have or propose to create more housing that working class people can afford to rent in or purchase?
Sure. So how would I define affordability? That's a tough question, but I want to make sure everybody, no matter their income, can afford to live a decent life and have a decent home to live in. So that's how I explain affordability. I want to make sure everybody has a home to live in, and they're not spending all of their income just to live on rent or on their mortgage. And so in Lakewood, one of the biggest things that I talk to a lot of constituents around is the property tax. It is very, very high in Lakewood. And so some of the ideas that we had is we property tax relief. And what I would do is push to get legislation that maybe have a property tax based on income instead of skyrocketing every year. Because we have people that are on fixed incomes, especially senior citizens, that don't have the resources or money to pay for these property taxes. So I will look into getting some relief for them. But it's very hard to get that through as city council. Like we don't really have the powers, more of the state and county issue. So I've been working with our state representative Tristan Rader talking about this, to get some legislation pushed through to make sure we get some relief for them. We also have resources in Lakewood for affordable housing, and I would make sure that those resources are available and known to the community as well, and make sure they have that access to that. And there's some funds in our budget where we could divert resources for affordable housing. And one other thing I'll say about affordable housing as well, a lot of the problem is we have these landlords that live out of state, or some even live out of the country, and they just raise prices. And so I want to incentivize people that live in the community to rent out to other people. That will help out other people, helping out other people in the same community, because I don't like these landlords that just don't care about the house, don't care about people living in it, and just want to gouge prices. I'll look into that and make sure there's regulation around the landlords.
Okay, I have one more question.
Sure.
What policy or legislation are you interested in proposing as a
Sure. So a couple of them. Well, first, I was talking about the affordable housing, and so I would really focus on that a lot. That's a big thing in Lakewood. And another one is when I go around talking to folks in Lakewood is about traffic speeding up and down the streets. And it's actually a high bar to get like speed tables or speed bumps into the Lakewood streets. You have to get all of your neighbors to sign up a petition, and then you have to submit it to City Hall, and then you get a radar detection, and then there's some sort of survey that goes through to see how the speeding is going, and then from there, maybe you'll get a speed table. I kind of want to fast track that, so, because there's a lot of people getting run over because it's a big walkable, and
Thank you so much.
Yes, please. If you don't mind. I promise I won't go over. Sure. I want to thank you again for considering my candidacy. I'm committed to building a Lakewood that is proactive, inclusive, and engaged. A city where every resident feels seen, heard, and valued. I will fight for affordable. Together, we can ensure that the priorities and leadership of Black women are not only recognized, but are central to shaping the future of Lakewood. I went over it before, so I want to respect your time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Brian King, member of Council at Large, University Heights.
Okay, once again, you will have 1 minute to tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself. 5 minutes for question and answers, and 1 minute. And you can start now.
Good morning, Black women of PAC. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I was honored to be endorsed by the organization in 2021 during my successful campaign for University Heights City Council. My name is Brian King, and I firmly believe that representation of diversity in the city of University Heights is essential. When there was a vacancy on the City Council, I insisted that a qualified Black woman be appointed to the vacancy. There were no other people of color on council at the time. I was also a supporter of our city's Juneteenth celebration. The members of the council questioned whether the event was for everyone. I pushed back and said that Black history is American history, and I supported fully funding the event. It's going for years. Thank you again for having me this morning. I look forward to serving the city of University Heights for years to come. Thank you.
Okay, hi there.
One.
Okay, my question for you is, provide an example of a time when you had to make a difficult decision as a city council member.
Okay. So a couple of years ago, we had a charter review commission to adopt a number of new charter amendments. There were 10 charter amendments proposed. City Council had to vote to put these measures onto the ballot. I chose to vote for all of these measures to be placed on the ballot because I believe in the voters of the city of University Heights. Voting on charter amendments is one of the few things that we can directly participate in our representative democracy. So I firmly believe that the voters have the right to do that. A number of my colleagues decided not to do that, and I was really disappointed. But yes, I believe that was the right choice.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
What inspired you to run for city council? And and what are some of your accomplishments?
I love my city, and I love helping the residents of the city of University Heights. The second part of the question was what are accomplishments? Thank you. So a number of my accomplishments have been working together with other members of City Council. We managed to get the development of University Square off the ground, the redevelopment of it. It's been city languishing for over 10 years. So that's moving forward with 200 new apartments coming into the city of University Heights and new businesses. We also worked on the live streaming of our city events, our city council events. That was not working very well. The events were cutting out. People weren't able to view the meetings online. My background is as an information technology professional, and I used that to approach that situation as a project manager and worked with the city's IT provider to implement a solution that allows for all members of the community to watch our city council meetings online. So I'm glad that we were able to accomplish that.
Thank you, Minister. And as a council member, I'm sure you're aware that we have a resident service representative, legislator, and guardian of city spending. Which of these roles matter to you most and why?
Representing the people. The thing that I enjoy most about my role is when a resident comes to me with an issue that they're having with the city or some other issue that they're trying to resolve, perhaps with a neighbor. I like to connect people to the resources that they need to resolve their problems. And if they're having any difficulties with city services, I end up talking to the involved directors and try to come to a good resolution for those issues.
Thank you.
Thank you again for having me here this morning. Again, my name is Brian King. I'm running for City Council, re-election to City Council in the City of University Heights. I've so far also been endorsed by the North Shore FL-CIO, the Ohio Environmental Council Action Fund, and the Cuyahoga County It's been an honor of my life to serve as a councilperson in the City of University Heights, and I look forward to serving for years to come. Thank you again for having me here this morning and giving me the opportunity to receive the endorsement. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Brett Horton for Cleveland Municipal Court Judge.
Good morning. How's everyone this morning?
Good morning.
I want to first say I appreciate the opportunity to appear before the Black Women's PAC, an organization that I have the utmost respect for. As I indicated earlier, my name is Brett Fortune. I just want to tell you quickly a little bit about myself. Lifelong resident of Greater Cleveland. I have practiced law in this community for over 30 years. I've also been very involved in this community. I'm not sure if you're familiar with 100 Black Men of Greater Cleveland, but it's an organization that I've been a part of since the late 90s. Our motto is what they see is what they'll be. It's a motto that I strive to live my life by. We're very involved in the mentoring and tutoring of our students. That is kind of what has brought me here before you today. As you recall, in the last election, there was a lot of talk about democracy, how does democracy die? The answer, more or less, was when good people stand happily by and do nothing. When I our community. I believe we can do better. And I've also learned the lesson that we cannot sit tight and wait for others to do both. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay, as a judge, you must possess courage. So, if you believe the law is one way, the public and the media wants you to go another way, how would you handle that?
Well, thank you for the question. To be honest with you, I think it's, as a judge, you have to serve without passion and fairness. I mean, you are tasked with enforcing the law. You're not prepared to do that, and you're not going to judge. So I would enforce the law and be great. I would not be pressured by the public. And thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is your philosophy on sentencing on nonviolent offenses involving drug cases in light of the emphasis on criminal justice reform?
Well, first of all, please this before you was missing. There was a long sentence one had for first degree misdemeanor 6 months. So in terms of nonviolent drug offenses, I would also want to concentrate on trying to bring the resources to these people, try to assist them in dealing with the root cause. The pre-municipal court has a drug court. I would like to give people an opportunity to enter the drug court if they qualify. Give them an opportunity to address some of the root causes, which is put them in court. So I believe in giving people an opportunity to rehabilitate and address the issues that they have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so one more question here. Judges have an obligation to improve public understanding. If elected, how would you carry out that obligation?
No, it's interesting to say that. Just this week, a young man who does mentoring, like children in Ward 2, he asked me that if I am elected, could he bring some kids down and just observe and understand how the court system works? I've told him I'd be more than happy to do that. Part of why I am running is for African Americans to understand that they are part of the system, that they are not just be singled out as victims. That we are part of the system, that we can make a difference, that we can make a change. I believe that we have to be out here in the community. When I look at the past election, I told my friends, they basically said, with the PEI narrative that African Americans are not qualified. We have to hold public positions so people can see the black excellence that they possess. So it's all about trying to understand, make people understand how they fit. I went to a panel discussion not too long ago, and the subject was really leadership. And the panel basically said that in order to lead, people have to trust. You have to build some rapport with them. So it would be my goal to build rapport with the community and earn the trust of the community so the community can move forward in a positive way.
Thank you.
Again, I appreciate the opportunity to address you this morning. I stand before you because I want to make a positive impact on the community. You look at my life. I have dedicated my life to trying to improve this community. I've mentored and I've tutored. I have seen the benefits when people have a positive future. But I've also seen the challenges that confront our community. But this has also broadened my understanding of some of the issues which will confront the people who I will see in court. I've believe I have the temperament to be a judge, and I know I have the passion and desire. Again, I want to thank the Black Women's PAC. It's an honor to be here. Again, my name is Brett Portman. I am running for the seat on Cleveland Municipal Court that was vacated by the Honorable Judge Lauren Moore. And the election will be held on November 4, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next candidate is J. Chauncey Hutton, candidate for mayor of University Heights.
You have 1 minute to tell us who you are, 5 minutes to answer questions, and 1 minute to close. Okay, the 1 minute starts.
Good morning. My name is Jay Chauncey Hutton. I'm running for mayor of University Heights, and I am honored to be here with the Black Women's Coalition. I deeply believe in BWPAC's vision to ensure the participation of Black women in every dimension, political, economic, and social, and to support candidates who truly understand the community needs. In University Heights lately, we've seen symbolic moments become flashpoints, like when members of council challenged our Juneteenth festival. These moments aren't just about dates on a calendar, they're about all voices in our community being respected, seen, and included. If elected, I will be a mayor who supports public voices, listens carefully to those too often pushed to the side, and works to make civic participation real, not just as a slogan, but as policy and practice. Thank you.
Okay. How are you doing? Okay, question. The issue of gun violence is on the mind of many communities, as you know. All cities have seen and are faced with an increase in gun violence. What options would you explore to combat the gun violence crisis and make the streets, schools, and your constituents safe?
Thank you very much. Excellent question. Gun violence has a lot of roots. It has a long and unfortunate history in our country. There are multiple prongs that we bring to approach this. First and foremost is a need to develop a tighter sense of community and feeling of connectedness amongst the people of our city. Unfortunately, as those who often feel left out, they tend to resort to violence to enact their desires. We have, unfortunately, as well seen increases in violence in our school systems. Again, we are not providing the resources that we need to provide to our children to make sure that they are safe and that they have alternatives to violent acts. Beyond that, we have increased police visibility in our city, not just as a heavy-handed measure, but as a way for the people of our city to connect with police officers. We are seeing at police events that gun locks are being provided to members of our city to make sure that responsible firearm ownership is practiced and found. And we are getting advocates in our community who are trying to speak to the needs of our community and provide other resources and outputs besides violent behavior.
Thank you. Good morning. What do you believe is the most important role?
The most important role of the mayor is to be the voice for all the people in the community. I am very proud that University Heights is a very diverse community. We have a lot of different opinions. We have a lot of different folks who believe that different problems can be solved in different ways. I want to make sure that all of them feel like they have a voice, that all of them know that they have a place at the table, and that we are making sure that we are hearing the things that are being said to us and not just telling folks what it is that they should believe. I believe in listening to experts, and I believe that individuals are experts in their own lives.
Thank you. What are your top 3 priorities for the city?
My top 3 priorities for the city are making sure that our upcoming police and fire department labor relations and contract negotiations are handled fairly and equitably, so that we make sure that we are continuing to provide the excellent services that we have providing opportunities for our children and our folks who are in need of more support in the fact that they are the vulnerable elements of our community. Thank you all for your time this morning and for sharing this moment with BWPAC with me. Our city deserves leadership that doesn't shrink when voices rise up calling for fairness, inclusion, and respect. We deserve a city government that doesn't just tolerate community traditions and expressions, but uplifts them, centers them, and protects them. I stand committed to BWPAC's purpose to support elected officials and candidates who understand what our neighborhoods need, who value equity, and who make space for participation for Black women and all marginalized voices. I ask for your trust and for your endorsement, not just for what I hope to do, but for how I will show up, with integrity, with listening, and with action. My name is Jay Johnson-Hutton, and I'm here to ensure that when University Heights move forward, everyone moves forward together.
Our next candidate is Nikki L. Hudson for Cleveland City Council, Ward 11.
You have 1 minute to tell us who you are, 5 minutes for question and answering, and 1 minute to close.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity for the Black Women's PAC endorsement. I appreciate this opportunity. My name is Nikki Hudson. I'm running for Cleveland City Council for the new Ward 11 on Cleveland's West Side. I've lived in the Cadell neighborhood with my husband and our 2 kids since 2002. I've been a grassroots community leader in the neighborhood, beginning with serving as the chair of our neighborhood's block club and on Cadell Improvement and Northwest Neighborhoods Community Development Corporations. And I've been involved in some efforts in the neighborhood, such as the effort to save Cadell Park. More recently, a fight to stop a gas station from being built immediately next to that park. It made me realize and see the power that neighbors coming together can have to shape the future of their community. And it's my intention to take that community building effort to the rest of the new Ward 11 and to the city of Cleveland as a whole.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What are the 3 most important issues facing the North area you want to represent?
Thank you for that question. I've been doing a lot of door knocking, walking the neighborhoods that make up the new Ward 11, and the 3 issues that I see are safety, and so that by safety I mean street crime, but then I also mean bike and pedestrian safety, which is something that has come up quite frequently. And then the 3rd issue that I see is environmental justice. There are parts of the Ward 11 that suffer from a declining tree canopy, and also there are Ward 11 is, I like to call it the Ward of Parks. We have Edgewater Park, Brookside Park, and the zoo. And there are issues, particularly at Edgewater Park, where raw sewage is continually dumped into Lake Erie. And I see that as a very serious issue that I think the city should really make an effort to stop going forward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in your ward?
I love that question, and thank you for asking it. I mentioned that I got my start in the community as a block leader, and I know that in other wards that people are running for, there, like for example, Ward 7 or High Street Tremont, I heard the candidates are going to block club meeting after block club meeting. In the new Ward 11, there are literally a handful, and by handful I mean I think 3 block clubs in the entire ward. It is my intention to, I want to foster and support the development of more block clubs throughout the ward and throughout the city as a whole. It was how I got my introduction into becoming involved in the community, and I would really like to see an
body's decisions are fully transparent and accessible to the public for review to engage city residents.
Transparency is key to having trust between the residents and the government that is supposed to serve them. And, something that I've done in the various issues that I've been involved in, making public records requests. And that is, as a citizen, it's your right to be able to access public records. And sometimes these records can take months. I've had public records outstanding for 5-6 months, and so I would like to set a time limit on getting those public records back to the citizens who request them. And I want to make it just easier for residents to access the public records and make sure that all city, I know that a lot of city meetings are on YouTube, and I want to make sure that those are adequately publicized.
Thank you.
Okay, so my question is, what do you consider your greatest strength?
So my greatest strength is that I am a coalition builder. We were successful in our fight to save Hill Park because we were able to bring voices together, people that may not agree on everything, but the one thing that we can all agree on was that the community needed this park. And so it is important in this time in our nation's history that we look past our differences and find the things that bring us together in order to find a path forward as a community.
Thank you.
Thank you again for the opportunity to be here. My name is Nikki Hudson. I'm running for Cleveland City Council for the new Board 11 on Cleveland's West Side. I've been endorsed by the Cuyahoga County Democratic Party, Cleveland Stonewall Democrats, the Ohio Working Families Party, as well as a host of other amazing organizations. And I know that these endorsements, they mean a lot to me personally, but they mean a lot to the residents that are going to be casting these votes. And so I appreciate your consideration.